Now let's look at a sample conclusion of a 5-paragraph essay. Here is an example, actually, conclusion paragraph. This is actually the last paragraph of the paragraphs we've discussed so far on altering digital photos. So this is the last paragraph. I mean the last piece of that puzzle. So altering digital photos can be a snap. You can change their lighting, remove unwanted parts, or even replace one part with another. This is the reworded topic sentence or reworded thesis statement you see here. We change the wording, keeping the same concepts, keeping the same meaning here. Can change their lighting, remove unwanted parts, or even replace one part with another. Do you remember? And do you remember parallel structure I've discussed earlier? I told you that we have to use the same format. Here we have change their lighting. Remove is a verb. Change is a verb. And here we have replace. If this part starts with a verb, for example, an infinitive, for example, to change, this part should also start with to change, or to remove, or to wash, or to cook, or to go, or to watch, something like that. If this part is starting with changing, this part should be removing, and this part should be replacing. And the other examples should be, for example, going, washing, watching, keeping, closing, opening, whatever. If this part is a kind of noun phrase, you should keep this noun phrase here as well, and in the third position as well. This is called parallel structure, and this can actually cause problems, I mean grammatical mistakes, and this might lead to reduction of your score, I mean losing your score. So you should be careful with this part specifically because of the parallel structure and conjunction here. So this is the reworded T statement as you see here, and the last part is clincher. The next time you look at a photo in a magazine or newspaper, think about it. The odds are a photo editor has been clicking away. This is actually making you interested, and this is actually telling you the questions he had raised earlier. The answer to the questions he had raised at the first paragraph. Do you remember motivator section, the first section of a 5-paragraph essay? I mean the first section of the first paragraph. This is the last section of the last paragraph. This is actually mirroring the same thing. We have to locate the reworded T statement and clincher. Here, most of the time, the first few sentences in the conclusion are reworded T statement, and the last few sentences are clincher. Here we have only one sentence here and one sentence for the T statement, but in some cases you might have more than one sentence. Then you should be careful with that. The reworded T statement is the first sentence most of the time, not always, and the clincher is the last one, as you saw in the example, but it is not always the case. You should be careful with that, as I mentioned. And you already know how to write a reworded T statement because you've written reworded topic sentence with regard to 1-paragraph essays. The story is the same here, but the only difference is that we are gonna write for a 5-paragraph essay. In that case, we were writing for a 1-paragraph essay. The only difference is that, but the story actually is repeated here. We are gonna reword, paraphrase, write the same concepts, the same meaning in another language, in another words, using, for example, synonyms and antonyms, or changing the structure. For example, in that case, we were using, at the top of your paper, your text, in the T statement you had written writing, washing, watching. Here you have to write to watch, to wash, to go. I mean, in that case you had used ing form. In this case, I mean in the reworded T statement case, you have to write, for example, in infinitive form. In that case ing form, here infinitive form. In that case, for example, noun phrase, here you can use noun clauses instead. So the difference is very actually superficial. The content is the same, as is the case with regard to the reworded topic sentence of one paragraph essays. That's very simple.